Before I get into today, I want to point out that every so often you'll hear me say things that aren't really hyperbole. They're not a slogan. Um, I say things like shake up the routine. Today I shook up the routine and I went to Wawa because, it won something in the morning. There's only so many places open. This would have probably been closer to 1:45 this morning. But anyway, hello and welcome back. And today we're going to talk about entitlement. I was thinking about you this morning and the word entitled came to mind. And I started thinking deeply about it because there are people who talk about what they've earned in life. They talk about what they should be getting in life. Maybe I've been guilty of this at times. Um, I've heard a lot of talk about work ethic and consistency. Rome wasn't built in a day. Rome wasn't rebuilt in a day. Blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to entitlement. Do you know what we're entitled to in this life? We're entitled to absolutely everything we came into this life with. When you came out of the womb, however that might have been, that's what you're entitled to. They've got you coming in, they've got you going out at the same amount. You're entitled to life, what you brought into it, and you're entitled to life, what you leave with it, or you're entitled to what you leave this life with, if that makes sense. It's early. This coffee from Wawa hasn't kicked in yet, but it will. Um, and the reason I'm thinking about entitlement is because along the way, you have missteps, you have successes, you have big wins, you have high highs, you have low lows, you have consistency. The only thing really consistent about consistency is that it's inconsistent, because life in itself is not consistent. The weather will be bad, the weather will be good. Sometimes bad things will happen. Sometimes a pandemic will come and shut us all down, and we'll have to work from home and come up with new ways to do things. And along the way, it might cause some other things that happen. Maybe you want this or that in life, and you turn to something like medicine and science, only you believe that these things are going to happen. And you've been told by medical professionals these things are going to happen, but then they don't happen. And, again, the inconsistent consistency of life. The only thing consistent about life is that it's inconsistent, just like what you're entitled to. You're entitled to what you came into this life with, and you can't take it with you when you go. So, what do you do along the way? Do you just give up? No, you live the best life you can and you let other people tell your story. That's what you're entitled to. You're entitled to trying to live the best life that you can so that other people can tell that story for you, so that people who are in rooms you'll never know about can say this or that or decide that, hey, this is important, that's important. Maybe you're one of those people in one of those rooms. If so, good for you. But what's next? See, for me, that's the thing. For me, entitlement means striving and continuing to work towards what might be next, because this is fleeting. This moment is happening now. And they say live life in moments, and that's great. And I'm all about living life in moments. I think you have to. But at the same point in time, you have to also understand that if you're going to be entitled to anything in life, it's going to be exactly what it is that you continue to strive for. And maybe what I'm striving for isn't what you're striving for. Maybe you're comfortable. Maybe you're happy. Maybe you like the way things are. I don't. I think there's something more ahead. There's always another mountain to climb, unfinished business. But that's what motivates me to overcome. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like I'm entitled to, the right to get up in the morning and try. Because I think that along the way in life, I've proven that I'm going to get up no matter how hard you might knock me down or how much you might doubt this or that or judge this or that and whatever. And again, I say these things and I'm guilty of doing the opposite at times. And I can admit that now, but I didn't always used to be able to admit that. And again, it came down to me understanding what the word entitlement means. You can do a million great things. It entitles you to one thing, the ability to get up the next morning and keep going. But that entitlement was not given to me at birth. I had to earn it. And when I leave, whether it's this job whether it's my life, whether it's whatever, when I'm done on this planet, I will be entitled to that which I came into this life with, which is not much of anything because you can't take it with you when you go. So, thinking about entitlement and thinking about your own life, think about what matters now and think about what you have earned along the way so that you can be entitled to whatever life may bring next, whatever that looks like for you, whatever that looks like for you. I think in the biblical texts or some of the spiritual texts, it's written that, we're more than conquerors. But even that comes with a realization. You know what I mean? You weren't born entitled to it, but you can earn it. And that's what becomes destiny, I think. Maybe I'm wrong this morning. Maybe this makes sense to you. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's exactly what you needed to hear. Either way, it's an authentic look at what's in my mind when I think about you. And this morning, as I drove to Wawa out the door to break up my morning routine, because every so often you have to do that, I think, to keep life off kilter just a bit so that you stay focused on what's next. Um, that's what came to mind when I thought of you this morning. The word entitlement, the fact that you're getting up today or that you're up today, that you're doing what you do today so that you can reach what you're entitled to reach tomorrow because you're earning it day in and day out. Hopefully that made sense to you. If it didn't, the comments, I apologize, man. I switched something wrong in the comments and I had them off the whole time. So I fixed that before I went to bed. I swear I need like an extra version of me just to run this whole side of me, But hey, I'm not entitled to that. Maybe one day I'll learn it. Until then, I'm going to do the best that I can with what I've got and what I've earned along the way so far. I'd encourage you to do the same. All right. And comments, I'm not going to moderate them. You can leave them below. Ask me whatever might be on your mind today. You can do that over on Insta. TikTok is a thing as well, which is one of the reasons why I like to talk to you in the morning, because I can turn this into some TikTok content, people. Thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. And if you need anything from me, you know where to find me. To paraphrase the great Deion Sanders, I ain't hard to find. Go win today.